Hi, ma'am. Am I audible?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, ma'am. Shall we start?
Yeah.
Hello, viewers. Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you joining us today. We are truly delightful to host this insightful and meaningful webinar on the topic building resilience and mental fortitude, promoting emotional wellness for educators. In today's fast paced and demanding environment, emotional wellness is not just a luxury, it is a necessity. It forms the foundation for growth, balance, and effective teaching. This session is designed to empower educators, students, and academic professionals with tools to build resilience and mental strength. Nowadays, we all are suffering from high pressure, burnout, emotional fatigue, especially in the research and education field. That's exactly why this session is so important. Emotional wellness is not just about surfaces, it is about supporting your journey. Whether you are writing your first journal, Am I audible, one? Okay, hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you now.
Okay, okay. So, before we begin, allow me to briefly introduce who we are. At D Free Knowledge, we offer a range of specialized services for both academic and business domains, designed to help you grow, achieve, and lead with excellence. For educators and webinar students, we offer educational workshops and webinar, academic and research support, thesis and journal publication assistance, writing and editing, exclusive services tailored for PhD scholars and PG students. For businesses, we provide website and app development, social media marketing, software solutions tailored to your growth. We just want to elaborate you that at D Free Knowledge, it is not just about services, it is about supporting your journey. Whether you are writing your first journal or launching your brand, we are here to back you up. Without further delay, let's dive into today's exciting session and hear from our esteemed guest speaker. So, ma'am, you shall start. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening and happy to be a part of this wonderful venture. And I think we are addressing a topic which needs a lot of concern at this point of time, I should say. I hope I'm audible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, ma'am, you are audible.
Oh,
Perfect.
give me a minute to share my PPT.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay, is my PPT visible? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, ma'am. Is it okay?
Okay. Okay. So, today's topic, as all of you must be knowing, is about building resilience and mental fortitude, promoting emotional wellness for educators. So, I thought I should be discussing a lot because this particular topic has something very interesting, right? We are focusing more on the educators. Of course, there's a lot of discussion that's happening with students. So, if you take an educational institution, the focus is on strong academic records, how to create achievers, trying to improve students marks, grades, whether it's a school or whether it is a college or any educational system. So when I used to be as a part of an academic institution, I observed that we are always running, chasing. There's no time to pause, reflect, and sometimes we lose out the time to even focus on ourselves. That is, a lot of burnout is happening. And as teachers, as someone who's giving education, providing this unique and very divine service, if I could say, we really don't find the time to take care of our inner self, right? Our own mental well-being is at stake because we are constantly being pressurized, we are pushed, we are sometimes, we forget our own family. It's like full focus is on our profession. Definitely, I believe any educator comes into the field with a lot of passion because no one can force you to become a teacher. I have heard a lot of students who come to me for career counseling. They tell me that, they're forced to take engineering, so many things, but I've never heard anyone telling me I was forced to become a teacher. Because teaching or providing education is something that you do with a lot of passion. No one can really force you unless you have that interest, unless you have that push and drive to go ahead and share your knowledge with young minds, right? So let's see what exactly it takes to build an emotional stability when you are an educator. And today I'll be sharing quickly few tips with all of you. It's not just as an educator that you can follow. I think for everyone it's going to help. Generally, when I do my presentations on emotional well-being, I share these tips. So I hope I'll be able to help you out and you can pick out a few tips from here and see how you can really implement it in your professional as well as your personal life. Importance of mental health, yeah, it's booming these days. So everywhere people have started talking about mental health. It's not that no longer we feel bad or no one finds it, or of course there are stigmas surrounding mental health, but still I think there's a lot of platforms which are coming out to support this, and people are trying to come out and share that yes, I have a problem with my mental health, I have a problem with my emotional well-being, I need support, I need help. Once a person is able to identify that he or she is going through this kind of a inner pain, I would say, or an inner peace is being destroyed, and he or she feels the need to communicate and seek help, I think that's the first and the most important step when it comes to mental health. So mental health is definitely something which focuses on the overall well-being, but very often overlooked. When it comes to educators, it's all the more overlooked, because when I talk about teachers or students or educator or the person who's being educated, the focus, the emphasis is always on the student, on the person, on the learner, not on the trainer or the teacher. Because we assume that the teacher or trainer is like God figure for us, right? He or she knows everything about the lesson. Of course, he or she is the pinnacle of knowledge. He or she can, train that students well. It's her role, it's or her role, her responsibility, and so on and so forth. But sadly, we forget that even the educator is a human being, right? At the end of the day, he or she gets, her own mood swings or her own burnouts, how he or she manages to tackle time. There's a lot of things that goes inside the mind, heart, and brain of an educator as well. But sadly, in a traditional teaching system, we always feel that students are vulnerable. They are the group that need the attention. Of course, it's 100% right. They are the young ones. We are there to train them. But when an educational system focuses on the mental health, mental well being of the educators, there's going to be a drastic improvement in the learning system. You see, there's always an effect, right? Because I know, or I have come across when I was working in institution, I understand how when a teacher is disturbed, definitely the disturbance gets passed from the trainer, from the teacher to the learner slash students, right? But very rarely these things are getting noticed or even spoken of when we are trying to look into the institutional well-being or building the institution. It's always the focus is on the marks. And sometimes sadly even students get caught into this, right? Even they are pressurized and they are, forced to get this mark or percentage and get into campus interview, and it's all mark driven. And also both the parties, I would say, the teacher, the student, the learner, the trainer, both of them are at a position to deliver something and get the result. And sadly during this journey, they forget to stop, they forget to focus on their mental health, and a lot of issues go unaddressed. And that's where we need to stop. If these issues keep putting down these issues, pushing them aside, if they keep adding up, if these emotions are bottled up without being addressed, it might result in a severe change in the way a person might, even the student might evolve, or even the educator might be drained out during the course of his or her professional journey. So that's one thing that I want to bring into notice. Importance of mental health is something that is very, very significant in all the areas, in all the domains, and especially when it comes to education, it's all the more important that these get addressed. So educators play a very important role in shaping the future of the next generation. So you give a batch of students to a teacher, they can make a very strong impact. We all know celebrities, we all know personalities who come out and say how they are being influenced by their teacher. At this moment I would like to share how Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So he is one of the inspiring a scientist of India, someone who always addressed himself as a teacher. Although he was the best minds a country could have, a scientist and many other titles that he was holding, he always preferred to be called himself as a teacher, because he understood that an educator role is very important in imparting knowledge. And I think he's an epitome of knowledge and someone who can always think about as a happy teacher, because I could always see him smiling. See, when students think about teachers, or it's always the strict faces that come to their mind. They get scared, they might get a punishment, or many other things that comes to their mind. But very rarely we focus on creating a happy culture inside the classroom, fostering a positive classroom engagement where the students will be waiting for the educator to enter inside that institution or the class. So to light up the room not only with their knowledge, but also with their presence, an impactful presence. So all this is something that can really happen in a system where mental well-being, emotional health is really focused on. So talking about Abdul Kalam, I think why Dr. Abdul Kalam was very passionate about teaching, why he was influenced because of his own teacher who taught him a lesson which, where he was told how airplanes actually, how birds fly. Sorry, I think I came across this information in one of his autobiography. So he was talking about how his teacher taught him that particular lesson as to how birds really have these wings, they fly and all, which really inspired him, I think, to take up this aeronautical science and go into that field and come out with flying colors and explore a lot. So this thing really stuck inside. It stayed with me, I should say, because the way you explain certain concept to the kids, to the students out there, it might be a very simple one, but you might not know what these young impressionable minds are going to take, right? So if you're really going to do that with a lot of passion involvement, you're going to make an impact in your classroom. You won't know what kind of results you'll be creating. It's not just inside the classroom I'm talking about. Of course, a teacher and a student are meeting